Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Shivkumar, and in today's video I thought I would talk about my progress over the last 6 months and where am I right now with my drone progress. And it's been a little slow primarily because there was a lot of there was a chip shortage, so it was difficult to redo certain designs of mine. For example, I tried to get the brushless DC motor working, and then the MOSFET that I used, those MOSFETs were out of stock, and I was trying to procure the same type of MOSFETs, or I had to redo my design in order for me to find a MOSFET with the same form factor or a different form factor or a footprint. So there's a lot of logistic issues. There was also not much progress in me designing the brushless DC motor, in the sense that every design I made blew up. And then I bought a couple of development boards, as you can see in the screen, and they blew up as well. So now I'm speaking with the manufacturer and replacing some of my gadgets to see what's going on over here. Maybe because the motor that I'm trying to attach is somehow drawing a lot of current, but the MOSFET is rated at a particular voltage, or so there are certain things that is not quite right, including my design breaking is one thing, but if the manufacturer's development board themselves are constantly blowing up, then there is something wrong with the motor. It might be causing some issues, so I don't know. So that's another thing where I'm trying to debug and find out what's really happening. So that kind of has halted my progress, because I wanted to start working on the AI, to be honest, but I was stuck in the speed controller phase, which I thought I would progress much faster than I than what happened in reality. So let me just focus on what I have in this blackboard right now. So one of the things that I was also working on is getting my video setup ready. And what do I mean by my video setup? So I want to deliver as much content as I can, live stream my progress as much as I can. And what I was realizing is that my current laptop was processing a lot, especially when I was trying to do screen sharing. In the sense, if I had to show you if I was designing something in Altium, or if I was doing something when I was drawing something on my screen, it would consume so much power, processing power, computing power, that it would slow down and was very glitchy. So I wanted to figure out a way that I could offset that power into an external device. So I got an 8M mini to do all my video processing, and it's so much more better. It's just saved my life and it's helped me save time more than anything else. So that was an investment that I did not anticipate, but I just planning and seeing where things are. I just thought I would focus on getting the video aspects of or recording my progress through video, something that I would invest in the long run, so that once I set it up, I wouldn't have to focus on it ever, hopefully not for a long time. So that was my idea of getting the video set up for YouTube streaming, recording some of my progress, sending certain things to the manufacturer and saying if something is wrong. So I wanted that ability to record at will, not constantly scrambled where my cameras and my laptop is cooled down. I just wanted it to be kind of impromptu. So that was the kind of the thing of the things that I've accomplished in July. Not to mention in this thing, when I talk about video setup, it's also my lab setup. I will be talking about a video where I'm just been trying to buy certain equipments, set up my lab in a way that's much more accessible, in a way in just organizing things so that I am ready to work on a new design, soldering, fabrication, debugging. I want everything, to be accessible at all times. So because I'm using a home workshop, sometimes it's, you try to, get something out and then you put them back in. And then when you have to debug again, you got to bring them out and put them back in. I didn't want, to constantly reorganize my setup. So I spent some time, setting up my lab office basically. So that's something I'm not written on this board, but that's what I've been working on for the last few months, you can say, in terms of investing, in terms of certain equipments, in terms of just organizations and tools and containers, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so that's where the video setup, I would say, is almost, I wouldn't say it's completely done, but I can give myself a green check mark, in the sense that it's a work in progress, but I can proceed at a much faster rate right now, and I don't have to think too much about it. So the BLDC motor testing is still going on. And when I say it's still going on, in the sense that I am still working on creating a design. So I'll be working and buying a lot more development boards, in the sense to constantly test different types of configuration, different types of pre-drivers, test it with different types of motor. Then I might have to get a thrust stand to see what propellers go well with the motors, and what motor and what speed controller fits well with the motor. So there's a lot of configuration that needs to be done with that whole process of just the thrust and the propulsion side of the drones. So that will always be a work in progress. So it'll always be the second on the list in terms of brushless DC motor ESC testing. It's a very complicated science, I would say, and it's very experimental in that sense. So there's the electronic side of things, there's the mechanical side of things in terms of the motor as well as the propellers, and all of them should be working in harmony, and that's what we're trying to optimize for efficiency in terms of both power and in terms of thrust generation. The third thing that I want to focus on, so the BLDC motor is something that I'll be working throughout July and August. The next thing I'll be working on is IMU design. So there are a couple of gyroscope, accelerometer, GPS, but mainly gyroscope and accelerometer, applying some sensor fusion algorithm, and then trying to see how I can do once you have put them onto the system, then you're going to take that data and see how your system responds, and that's the sensor that will tell you how your system is responding, especially for orientation and attitude control. So that's something that I will be doing, where once I fabricate the IMU design, I'm still selecting which chip I want to use, or which sensor I want to use. And once I have that, then I'll be able to do some system identification and control system, as you can see in step 5. So step 1, step 2, 3, and 5 are they go in harmony. So you've got the whole BLDC setup, you got the IMU setup, and then you got the control system setup. So they all go kind of hand in hand. I put for Plan AI and camera board. This is also another place where there's a lot of chip shortage, but I'll be designing a couple of PCBs related to designing certain camera boards and designing AI. So when I get time, I'm just going to spend a lot of time doing a lot of PCB design in this stage. So that's where I will be, trying to allocate my time. But the majority of my time will be spent in making the brushless DC motor work, and getting the development board for the next 2 months. So that's what I really want to talk about. So yeah, in the sense that this is these are all mostly I'm trying with NXP products. There's ST Electronics, there's Texas Instruments that have pre-drivers, but I just like the portfolio that NXP gives, the setup, the support that they have. It's not great, but it's not bad either. And the devices and the development, they got a lot more variety with their products. So I just prefer to use NXP semiconductors, but you're free to use ST Electronics or Texas Instrument. So these are the development boards, and I've already blown up 3 of them. That's the state of what I'm doing away. So this is all the GD3000 board, and as I progress, I will be recording a lot more once I get some replacement boards or replacement parts, in order for me to test them on when I'm testing the system. So yeah, that's really what I've been doing for so long. And in the next few videos, I'll be working more on either it's going to be a PCB design, or doing some experiments around these circuit boards. All right, that I thought I would record this mostly for my personal benefit, in the sense that I can reflect back and see where my progress is for the last 6 months, and the next 6 months I really want to push myself and start making a lot more progress now that I got some of the setup ready in the first few months. All right, thank you.